Hey, doing a spring repair job on the Tour Beast commuter. The chain was started skipping late last year. I knew it needed a new chain. Ends up the cassette was worn as well. So I'm going to show you how to do a cassette job real fast, or hopefully fast. I already took the wheel off. Drop the wheel out. And take out your This is a SRAM, SRAM, a park tool remover, cassette remover. I can't remember if this is dedicated for SRAM or if it's interchangeable. But it needs to fit in correctly like this one does. To lock these, you turn them right, lefty loose. You're like, well, how do I do that? Need a chain tool. Basically wrap this on like this. And that will allow you to hold it. Just have a standard wrench, put it on here, and then we're going to twist it off. So I'm going to set the camera down to do that. A lot of times you can get away with just a new chain, but what I've noticed is these new cassettes with all their alloys and lightness wear really fast. A lot of my old steel bikes I can get away with just putting a new chain on every other year, and cassettes still work great, but I thought this was a Shimano. It is an SRAM. I bought a cheap Shimano replacement. The main reason being this bike is heavy, so there's no reason to save weight. I think that cassette was under 20 bucks, 18 bucks on sale, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera down and switch this out real fast. So you basically gonna hold this with one hand and turn with the other. Hold on, okay, so that actually went pretty well. You have to hold it. I took the wrench off, but you obviously are twisting against each other. You hold it stationary with this and twist with this. It should come off pretty easily. The break it at least, and then from there you can often just hand spin it like this. Alright, there we go. So that's how you get the old cassette off. It comes right off like that. I'm going to clean that up. There you go. Now when you put the new one on, I've taped that one together. It will fall apart before you put the lock nut back in place, so be careful when you put it on. I'm going to clean this up a little bit since I have it apart, and then put the new one on and show you how that looks. I did go from a 9 to an 8 because I didn't use any of these gears on my commute. I use pretty much these. So. And when you put the new one back on, I don't know if you'll notice, there's actually a spot on the spindle that's wider than the others. That needs to line up with the top where it's the widest. So if you're having trouble, it feels like it's not fitting on, you need to take it off and find the correct top positioning, put it on, put your lock nut on, tighten it back down, and I'll show you that in a second if I have some room on the camera. But yeah, make sure you position it to the correct top so you can slide it on correctly. If it's not going down, it's not positioned right, don't force it. Hey, one final thing. I actually put a Shimano from SRAM. They were not compatible. So you have to have, I did have my old Shimano one as well. And when you put the lock nut on, you need to line up this top cog kind of like you did on the spline itself. So make sure, don't force this down until you know that slid down correctly. Start tightening this by hand, and once you know everything's dialed in well, reverse what you did, put your tool on there and crank it down. It doesn't take a lot. And that's how you switch out a cassette. I'll pop my tire back in here, clean it up a little bit, and I'm ready for some spring wet riding next week. It's supposed to be showery.